Hi guys, welcome back to Lisa Loves. Today I am doing my second tag of the day. This is one from, I've been tagged by the Horror Miser Monty G, and this is the creature tag. The original tag is by a gentleman called Cecil Laird, and he runs the channel called The Horror Show. I will pop Monty's and the Horror Show's links in the description below if you want to have a look. So, I did a Leatherface tag earlier today if you want to go check that one out. It's got some quite cool questions, but for now on with the creature tag, which has 10 questions. I will try not to waffle. I'm not promising anything. So number 1, what is your favourite creature movie? Right, okay. A lot of people consider certain things not creatures. I'm just going to go with my viewpoint on that. A lot of people say don't pick vampires, werewolves, any of that. I'm just going with my viewpoint on it. So for that I've written down 2. I have written American Werewolf in London because it is one of my all-time favourite movies. I've also had a backup just in case werewolves are not considered creatures, and I've written Cabin in the Woods. I adore that movie. I think it is awesome, and it has a plethora of creatures at the end. I've actually listed all the best creatures from it for another question, but yeah, Cabin in the Woods, awesome. I will also say, if you have not seen Cabin in the Woods and you don't want it spoiling, I do talk about a lot of things, people in it at the end, so just don't watch this if you haven't seen it. Number 2, what is your favourite creature design? Right, I've picked 2 things here. First of all, I've gone with Pan's Labyrinth, and I believe the creature is called Pale Man. And it's the massive big creatures with the eyeballs on his hands. He picks the eyes off the table. He's blind, he doesn't have eyes. And he does this, and his eyes can look around. That really creeps me out when I first saw it. I just love the imagery of it. And the other, I'm going to choose a film that doesn't seem overly popular with a lot of people, but I am going with the movie adaptation of the game Silent Hill, which I really love. And 2 things within that I was like, ooh, the nurses, just the twisty-faced nurses. They're just like, I thought, I wish I was really good at like horror special effects, because that's just the perfect Halloween costume. And the other one, is he called Triangle Head? I'm going to look, Pyramid Triangle Head. Pyramid Head. Well, at least I got the shape almost right. Yeah, with a big massive like sword thing. He was creepy as hell. Again, I don't know if people consider it a creature, but yeah, I'm going with Pyramid Head. I nearly called him Triangle Head again. Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, and the nurses from Silent Hill. Number 3, do you prefer humanoid or non-humanoid creatures? Right, I like both. If I was pushed to choose, I would go with humanoid, purely because I think it's a bit more relatable to people. Anything where we have a human turning into something gradually, like The Fly, we've got The Descent, anything where there's a human aspect to a monster, I think makes it a little bit more relatable to people. Although I do enjoy like monster, 4-legged, 10-legged, 8-legged, whatever. I like both. At a push, humanoid. 4, what is your favourite kill by a creature? Right, okay. This movie has 57 kills, and it's Cabin in the Woods. I can't say enough things about this, good things about this movie. I am actually now, I've written them down, I'm actually now going to read out what creatures are at the end of this movie. It's quite a slow moving movie, and it's quite a, it's enjoyable, but once you get to the last, say, half hour, it's just out of this world. It's just incredible. So we have got a unicorn. A unicorn stabs someone in the chest with its horn. It's just like, what? We've got a fairy with her face is just all teeth. I'll just go through the rest really quickly. Zombies, Ku Klux Klan, werewolves, dolls, Samara from The Ring, Huron, Death Robot, Dismemberment Goblins, Mummies, Mermans, Massive Snake, Massive Tarantula, King Kong, Twins, Ancient Ones, Killer Clown, Vine Covered Bull Demon, a Kraken, the Blob, like Evil Doctors, a Snowman, Toxic Mutants, a Tree, Yeti, Dragon Bat, Plantopus, which is a cross between an octopus and a plant, Jack-o'-lantern, and something called Fornicus, which is like creepy as hell. He's got like these metal gears in his head. It kind of, to me, it reminded me of Hellraiser. of Pinhead. So yeah, just, oh, that one. So that was favourite kill. All of the kills at the end of that. There's a bit where someone's killed and a bit drops for this big chunk of something falls from the ceiling onto the floor with a splat. It just made me laugh out loud. So yeah, number 5. What is a lesser known creature movie that you would recommend? This took me so long because anything I could think of, everyone has seen or heard of. I'm not the best with like obscure titles. As a matter of fact, since I started on YouTube, I've come to become aware of a lot more movies than I was aware of. I'm going to go for this with a movie that was made in 2016, released this year, quite recent, this month actually, called Guyana, Where Death Lives. It's a movie about some developers that want to build a tourist thing in, Saipan, and they come across a old World War II bunker that they have to investigate before they can agree to build on the area for, like, you know, whether they don't want things to fall down for structural safety. I'm not going to say anything else about the movie. I watched it recently. It was reviewed by a channel I enjoy called Geek Legend of Doom, who I will try to remember to link down below. He reviews an awful lot of really, like, movies I've never heard of, and I checked that one out on his recommendation and I loved it. Brilliant. So Guyana, Where Death Lives, check it out. Number 6. What is your first experience with a creature movie? Right, again, I don't know if this is going to count. I'm going to go with the Jason and the Argonaut type films, the Sinbad type films. Ray Harryhausen, the skeletons, that famous skeletal fight scene. The massive big, like, steel, I think it's Achilles, because his weakness is his heel, where they open the disc. We have the Cyclops, we have the statue, the woman statue with like 6 arms or whatever it is. That's got a name which I haven't looked up. So yeah, those movies are my first experience of like creatures. And I was really young when I saw those. And after that, the only other one that comes to mind, King Kong, the old King Kong, the old black and white one. Yeah, so they'll be my first ones. 7. What is your favourite Old Yeller moment in a creature movie? Or what is your favourite creature demise? Right, I have gone with my favourite, no, not really favourite, my Old Yeller moment. This is not my answer, but I'm just going to say this. I always felt really sorry for King Kong. I really didn't like the fact when they were like shooting him and he was hanging on the Empire State Building. It's like, no. But I'm going to go with the remake of The Fly. I love that movie. The part at the end where Gina Davis's character has to shoot Jeff Goldblum in the head to kill him. Obviously they were lovers. Is he called a Brundle fly at that stage? Anyway, she has to shoot him and it's like, oh no. We saw the pain that he went through, we saw his transformation, and he's killed by the person that loves him at the end. So yeah, I'm going with The Fly for that one. Number 8. What is the tensest moment in a creature movie that you can remember? Right, I could be here all day if I try and think about this. So what I went with was the most recent creature movie I've watched is A Quiet Place. And the premise behind that movie is that the creatures cannot see but they can hear. So you have to be like super quiet at all times. And there are quite a few scenes in that are very, very tense. Where, just as an example, the main woman has a baby. So, you know, any parents out there, you try and keep a baby from crying or making noise. So yeah, I'm going to go with that for tensest moment. We're on number 9. What is the worst creature you've ever seen put to film? Or the worst creature movie you've ever seen? I'm going to be incredibly popular here and say a couple of movies that I really never liked. Day of the Triffids, 1962. Nope. I really do not like ghoulies. People will hate me for that, but it's just daft. I'm not the biggest fan of movies about dolls or little creatures. I don't particularly like the critter films. I do like Child's Play, the original one. I like Gremlins. Not a big fan of critters, ghoulies, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with ghoulies for that. And I didn't like the creeper either, the whole image of the creeper. So yeah, take your pick. And lastly, in number 10, what is the best modern horror movie? What's the best modern horror movie creature from the last like 15 to 20 years? So we'll say since the year 2000. That's dead easy for me. I've talked about it twice. Cabin in the Woods. It's just got everything. It's got so many creatures. It's got such brutal deaths, especially the merman one. Again, I put a warning out. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. Where there's a guy in it that his whole life's ambition is to see a merman, and at the end he sees that merman and the merman kills him, and it's fantastic, it's brilliant. Yeah, so that. I also will say I really enjoyed The Descent. That one's really good as well, but Cabin in the Woods blows them all out of the water. So yeah, that is my creature movie answers. Thanks to Monty for the tag, and thanks to the horror shop. Lisa's frantically flicking to make sure she's got that right. Sorry, the horror show. Cecil says Cecil. Right, my brain's melting. For creating the tag, I am going to leave this one open to anyone that wants to do it, because again, I'm not sure who. Actually, I will tag a couple of people. If they haven't been tagged, I will tag Horrific Nightmares JM, Jason, the Horror Man Joe, and Nick from The Last Shoegazer. I will tag you 3. I would also tag, I know he's not here at the moment, he's moving house. I'm going to tag Movie Massacre for when he gets back. So yeah, Movie Massacre, Last Shoegazer, Horror Man, and Horrific Nightmares JM. You guys are it. So hopefully see your answers anytime soon. I know that Joe and Jason, Horror Man and Horrific Nightmares JM, both actually recently did a creature feature like countdown, as in their favourite. I think Jason, I know, did 40, and I think Joe also did also. Anyway, so that that'll be fresh in their minds. They've done their favourite creature movies. So yeah, you're tagged, guys. You're it. Look forward to seeing your answers. So I will go and stop the waffle, and it's over and out from Lisa Loves.